You are watching MDN Teleradio. The views and opinions in this video are those of the anchor, the program host, and its guests do not necessarily reflect the views of MDN Teleradio. Furthermore, the assumptions, views, opinions, and insinuations made by the administrators through the programs and the comments do not reflect of the management of MDN Teleradio, Mindanao Daily News, and the page itself. Ania na sa MDN Radio. Ang programang gibuhat alang sa katawan. Mudapig sa kamatuoran, mutabang ug mugiya sa kadaghanan. Alagad sa kalinaw ug kontra sa hiwing binuhatan. Ang dangpanan sa katawan. Matag Lunes, Miyerkules ug Biyernes, alas 8 hangtod sa alas 10 sa buntag. Dinhi sa MDN Radio, Radio Servicio. Kauban si Dean Jerry, ang dangpanan sa katawan. Ang dangpanan sa katawan. Muaksyon na ang agila, si Dean Jerry. Ang dangpanan sa katawan.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Wednesday, August 26, Agosto 26, 2020. It's August 26, Wednesday, 2020, mga Exxon. Mayong hapon. Good afternoon, everyone. Sa atong mga frontliners, sa atong mga ospital, sa atong mga workers din ha, sa atong medical professionals, atong mga nurses, ang atong mga doctors, ang atong mga hospital staff, good afternoon. And of course, our frontliners usab, ang atong Philippine National Police, ang atong mga membros sa security force, atong pag-isgutan mga Exxon, karon tod ang kining ni ang balaod nun, no? A bill nga naa sa Congress, which is plano nga amindahan ang atong balaod existing law that governs the practice and the giving of authority in the practice of the security profession. That will be our topic. We have invited guests, no, from Commission on Higher Education and of course Professional Regulation Commission, no? To all our frontliners, good afternoon. To all our parents, magandang hapon po sa lahat ng mga magulang, sa lahat ng mga estudyante ngayon na nasa bahay nag-aaral dahil nga bawal yung face-to-face sa lahat ng mga paaralan natin, maging sa elementarya, sa high school, and even in college, no? Most colleges and universities in the country are now starting their classes via non-face-to-face, no, via online, and some schools has adopted the modules in order for us to continue learning, no. Sa lahat ng ating mga estudyante dyan, sa ating mga magulang, magandang hapon po. Sa lahat ng ating mga drivers sa taxi, PUJ, sa mga food delivery, lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig at sumusunod sa programa natin over our Facebook Live. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have anything to share about our topic this afternoon, yung mga nasa Facebook Live natin, you can log on your comment, your questions, or whatever observation with regards to our topic this afternoon. And kung meron po kayong tanong, you can text me. Ang ating text line po ay 0917-9522-191. Kung medyo nahihiya kayong magtanong over our Facebook comment box, comment section, pwede nyong i-text dito sa text line natin. Ulitin ko po, 0917-9522-191. Yan po ang ating text line. Mga kaibigan, medyo we will be using the Filipino language kasi nga yung mga bisita natin ngayon, our guest, can better articulate the Filipino language, and for purposes of covering a greater number of our viewers na maintindihan yung mga bagay-bagay na pag-uusapan natin ngayong hapon. That is why we will be focusing and we will be using the Filipino language. Magtatagalog po tayo ngayon hanggang matapos yung programa natin. Welcome po sa Dangpanon sa Katawan, dito lamang sa MDN Teleradyo. You can watch us and watch us anytime, anywhere. Nasa linya na ba natin ang ating mga bisita? Okay. So mga kaibigan, bigyan muna natin ng pagkakataon ang mga bisita natin, our guest this afternoon, who will be talking about the different bills in the House of Representatives that has only one very common intention, and that is to repeal the old law that governs in the practice of the security profession in this country. Mga kaibigan, nandito na po sa linya natin ang ating magigiting, ang ating chairman ng Professional Regulatory Board for Criminologists. Walang iba kung hindi si Chairman Attorney Ramil G. Gabao, and of course ang ating member din ng CHED Technical Committee for Industrial Security, Dr. June De La Cruz, Dr. Estelito June De La Cruz Jr. Good afternoon. Unahin natin si Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Okay. Unahin na natin si Sir June. Sir June, bati ka muna sa mga viewers natin and sa lahat ng mga listeners natin.
Maraming salamat, Sir Jerry. Magandang hapon sa lahat, sa mga listeners at viewers ng iyong programa. Mabuhay ka, Sir Jerry.
Maraming salamat, Sir June. Okay. Andito na si Chairman. Chairman, bati ka muna sa ating mga viewers, sa ating mga listeners, at sa lahat ng fans mo sa programa natin ngayong hapon. Yes, Mr. Chairman, go ahead please.
Yes, good afternoon, Dean Cherry. Salamat sa invitation mo once again sa program mo. And magandang hapon sa ating lahat, sa iyong mga viewers and listeners. Good afternoon po.
Okay. So, yung topic po natin ngayon na pag-uusapan is basically, this pertains to the security sector of our country. As we all know, there are more than 700,000 security personnel in the country spread to the different establishment, business, commercial, industrial facilities in the country. And there is now a move of our legislature to amend this law that governs. Now, bago natin talakayin itong substance ng batas or substance ng bill, hingin na natin ng siguro opening statement as to the brief history. Ano ba ang mai-share natin na history with regards to the security in this country? Paano ba nagsimula? Bakit nagkaroon ng batas? Bakit bigyan ngayon ng pansin ng gobyerno itong mga security guards natin at yung mga security agencies na din? Unahin muna natin si Dr. June De La Cruz. Sa kaalaman ng lahat, si Dr. June De La Cruz, siya po ang General Manager ng lahat ng security and safety dimension and interest of Rockwell, the Rockwell Company, stationed in Makati, of course, and they have also Rockwell in Cebu and some other parts in NCR. They have also some business enterprise in which the component of security and safety is very much the concern of Dr. June De La Cruz. And of course, Dr. June De La Cruz is also the member, a member of the Commission on Higher Education Technical Committee for Industrial Security. Tanungin mo natin si Sir John. Sir John, ano ba yung maibigay nating backgrounder? Ano ba yung mai-share mong security history or the history of the security bago natin talakayin itong substance ng batas? Sir John?
Maraming salamat, Sir Jerry. Maybe I will start from the global perspective, no. Pag nagbasa ka kasi ng mga literatures, makikita mo since first industrial revolution, meron ng mga concerns about security. So that's around 1800s, no. So ang ibig sabihin noon, lumalago na yung negosyo, lumalago na yung industriya. Ang mga concerns ng mga businessmen noon is paano nila po protectionan yung company assets, yung corporate assets. So wala siya actually formal na kung kailan kailan siya ni-launch, kailan siya. Pero meron isa kasing tao, alam ko kaibigan to ni Attorney Gabaw, si Allen Pinkerton. That's mga 1800s. He used to work with the railways station. So, sa yung nakapag-isip na, sabi niya, yung mga industrial assets, it requires industrial protection. Meaning, hindi mo pwedeng iasa sa gobyerno yung pagproteksyon o private assets. Kasi nga yung military, is concern nila is yung border, ng sovereignty ng isang bansa. And then yung police or law enforcers or police at that time are so concerned about street crimes. And they are not that many. And we have the same story, no, in the Philippines. Sinabi mo kanina mga around 700,000 security personnel. That's true. That's our parameters in terms of computing how big is the industry right now. So, pumunta yan doon sa second industrial revolution, third, tapos yung iba-ibang mga bansa, they already responded doon sa needs. Isa dyan yung Philippines, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng 1969 nagkaroon ng private security agency law, no? So, meaning responded doon sa need na talagang kailangan. In fact, mas matagal pa sa atin kaysa sa Malaysia, mga around 1972 sila nagkaroon ng ganyan na batas, no, regulating yung private security. So, ang pinaka-philosophy is kailangan yung mga private assets kailangan ng industrial protection coming from the business itself. So doon nagsimula yung mga traditional aspect of protection, yung may mga key, mga barcode, ilaw. Kailan pag nag-grow yung business, nag-grow din yung requirements. At dumadami yung tao, dumadami yung requirements for protection. So hanggang sa nagkaroon na ng establishment na kailangan pala talaga ng yung mga business owners, kailangan nila mag-invest, no? Magkaroon ng investment about security, and today nga, and our government, and thanks to the present government, na-approve yung program natin for BS Industrial Security Management. I think that's a milestone on our part as well, na-convince natin sila na ma-approvean ng commission yung pinaghirapan natin na curriculum for BSISM. So basically, that's how yung nag-evolve yung history ng industrial security as to the needs.
Okay. Well, very, very informative yung nabanggit mo, Sir Jun, no? Na nang dahil pala sa negosyo ng mga pribadong tao, lumalabas yung pangangailangan na kailangan din nilang protektahan yung assets nila at saka yung property, yung negosyo nila nang dahil sa investment na yan, at hindi pwedeng iasa sa gobyerno yung pag-protect ng property or asset nila or yung negosyo nila, kasi nga yung mga iba't ibang law enforcement and the military is basically meron silang mandato which is somehow nakatutok doon sa ibang bagay and hindi somehow nabigyan ng concentration dito sa needs, no? Very, very specific needs pala itong nasa business sector. Now, matanong naman natin si Chairman, no? Si Chairman Gabaw. Mr. Chairman, no, as a practitioner, as a lawyer also by profession, and I believe base sa sinabi sa akin ni Sir June de la Cruz, you're also engaged in the security. Now, Mr. Chairman, kindly give us ano ba yung nakikita mong legal backbone ika nga, or the legal basis? Bakit kailangan bigyan ng batas itong security sector ng mga pribadong tao? Bakit kailangan magkaroon ng batas? Ano ba nakikita mong dahilan kung bakit ba? Is government a failure? Why is it that hindi nabigyan ng pansin itong pangangailangan ng ating mga negosyante, yung ating mga pribadong tao na may mga properties, may mga investment? Bakit hindi nabigyan? At ano yung nagiging somehow legal basis natin to have a law that will govern the profession of the security industry in this country? Mr. Chairman. Parang na-mute ba? Can you check?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Din Jerry. Thank you, Sir June. Kumusta daw? Sabi ng pinsan kong si Pinkerton doon na nag-text sa akin ngayon lang.
Si Alan ba yan? Si Alan ba?
Oo, si Alan.
Okay.
To answer your question, Din Jerry, ganito yun, kung tatanggalin mo yung negosyo, negosyo is private yung setting niya.
Yes.
Okay, so ikaw bilang isang tao din, tayo bilang tao, natural persons, negosyo ay mostly juridical persons. No? Tayo naman ay natural persons. Obligasyon ng gobyerno na protektahan yung ating life, no? Yung ating properties. No? Pero sa doktrina kasi sa criminal law, meron tayo tinatawag ng mga classical theory, positivist theories, no? Or principles in law, na kaya nga meron tayong mga doctrines of self-defense, defense of property, defense of relative, defense of stranger. Sa classical theory ng criminal law, ito ay admission on the part of government. No? Na if you can kill somebody else in defense of yourself, or in defense of your property, or in defense of your relatives, or in defense of your stranger, admission yan ng government na sinasanction niya yung ginagawa mo, pinapayagan niya at sinajustify niya yung ginawa mo, o doktrinan dapat yun, dahil ito ay admission on the part of government that despite its massive asset, the government cannot really protect its people, its businesses at all times, and in all places. Kaya sanction yung gano'n. So in the same manner, no, yung security din ay gano'n. Since private property yan, juridical by nature, you cannot always rely on government to protect your business. No? From robbers, no? From thefts, or any destruction of your property or assets. No? You cannot always rely on government. That is why the government is allowing private businesses or organizations to protect itself, no, through legitimate means, katulad ng mga security agencies na yan or employed security guards or watchmen. No? So, dyan ngayon pumapasok yung dapat i-regulate din ng government ang mga private endeavors ng mga natural or juridical persons to protect its own assets. Kaya lumabas itong Republic Act 5487 in 1969. Yan. At kung may dagdag ko lang din Dean Jerry, para mamaya, no, ano ba ang papel ng criminology dito? Why are we interested in security matters, no? In security agencies, in security and safety, no? Dadagdagan ko yung history ni Sir June Ducal naman. Criminology has been with us since 1954. Pero ang criminology kasi sa security ay hindi pwedeng paghiwalayin kasi from the beginning, ina-acknowledge natin na merong relation ang knowledge natin sa criminology sa security aspect naman, industrial or otherwise. That is why, noong 1969, nung inilabas itong Republic Act 5487, ay yung graduates ng criminology are qualified to become detectives and officers of security agency or investigation agency or detective agencies. So, as early as 1969, ina-acknowledge na ng batas kung ano ang magiging papel ng mga criminology graduates man lang sana, at least criminology graduates. No? So, from then on, alam naman natin na ang dami ng mga criminologists na nagpa-practice sa larangan or sa field ng industrial security. That is why, interesado tayo sa criminology dito.
Okay. So yung sinasabi mong batas, Mr. Chairman, was enacted in 1969.
Yeah, pero more than 51 years ago.
Yes, oo. Nauna yung criminology program na ma-offer as a formal education, as a bachelor's degree in the different schools in the country, and yun nga, no, sinasabi mo na pumasok dito din yung interest ng pag-practice ng profession in the area of security. Now, tanungin natin si Sir Jun, no, as an expert in the field of industrial security, as the authority, the leading authority in industrial security in the country today. We would like to know, no, Sir Jun, bakit ba, ano bang dahilan, ano bang mga dahilan, ano ba kaya yung mga objectives, ano ba yung mga goals kaya ng mga pribadong tao, mga negosyante, bakit kailangan nilang mag-invest, bakit kailangan nilang gumastos, magbayad ng sahod, magbigay ng benefits, magpalagay ng lahat-lahat ng mga security and safety requirements sa mga establishment nila. Nabanggit mo nga yung mga padlocks, yung mga lighting device, yung mga barriers na yan, yung mga alarm na yan. Ba't kailangan yun? Ano yung pinakadahilan dito, Sir Jun, as an expert in industrial security of the country?
Thank you, Sir Jerry. Just a little background.
Please.
Pag tinignan mo gaano kalaki yung industrial security business, no? From the perspective of the service provider, ito yung mga security agencies. Kanina nabanggit mo yung mga around 700 security personnel.
1,000 yun, 1,000.
Philippines, no? If you made only computation, those wage order number 22, an average of 25,000 a monthly contract. The monthly investment for security ng mga businesses sa Philippines, that's around 17 billion a month. So that's how big is the business. But look, dito sa aming company, pag tinignan mo, kahit yung sa commercial portfolio lang namin, meaning ito yung mga retail and mall, mga around 22 M per month yung expense ng security, no? So, that's how big yung business. Now, ang tanong is, ano ba yung mga motivations, mga reasons why ang mga businesses, like my current employer ngayon, I've been here for the last, bago lang naman, mga 19 years pa lang, as the head of security.
2 dekada na pala. Sir Jun, 2 dekada na, pero hindi halata sa sa eyeglasses mo.
Yeah. So kasi we have different businesses, no? May shopping mall, may residential, may hotel. So yung naka-embed na kasi yan, embedded na yan sa corporate philosophy, no? Ang pinaka number 1 talagang reason is all about commitment to provide a safe and secure working and business environment. Pangalawa doon, that's primary reason, and secondarily is yung binanggit ni Attorney Gabaw, yung about the the law that requires yung parang respect of human rights, respect of the law. So you need to provide a certain protection so that employees will be inspired to go back every morning para magtrabaho, at yung mga customer will keep coming back para naman magnegosyo. So ito yung mga motivations, no? Kaya every now and then maraming mga activities ng ginagawa. Yung sa Rule of Law, yung tinatawag natin na due diligence, no? Parang nag-invest ka ng mga 1,000 unit of CCTV or camera. Sabi niya, bakit kailangan natin mag-invest diyan? So, iyan naman di nilagay yan kung hindi pinag-aralan ng mabuti kung ano ang benefit niyan sa company. Pero sabi niya, ano bang gamit niyan? Pag may nangyari, sabihin, buti na lang may camera. No? So, ibig sabihin, may mga ginawa ka. It's due diligence, like a good father of a family. You want to protect your children while he's sleeping or working. So, ito yung mga investment. Yung technology, yung manpower, and yung mga proseso na ginagawa. Kaya nga may mga standards na. Kaya in fact, yung security, may ISO na ang security. So, ito yung mga processes na nag-i-invest ang mga companies primarily to provide a safe and secure working business environment as part of their commitment to government and to the community as well.
Okay. Sir John, pwede mo ba kami mabigyan ng background? Kasi banggit ng Rockwell as the head security of Rockwell. Bigyan mo naman kami ng backgrounder siguro. Ano ba itong Rockwell? Bago tayo magpatuloy doon sa ibang usapin. Sir John?
Well, Rockwell is a property development company. No? So we build malls, we build high-end residential. So we are located doon sa aming main office sa Makati. That's around 19.5 hectares yung Makati. So we have several projects outside. So Rockwell is the property development company of the Lopez Group of Companies. Sikat na sikat ngayon. So we're part of that, and the companies have been in the business for the last I think 25 years. So I've been here for 19 years. So 6 years after I joined the company. Siyempre, bago ako naging security professional, I'm a legitimate criminologist. So I joined the company as a supervisor for shopping mall, and I technically rose from the rank. Now being the head of security of all the businesses that we have. So it's more on a high-end development in terms of the hotel, in terms of the shopping mall, and in terms of residential.
So bali, marami pala yung business interest na binabantayan and making sure that people are safe and secure, no? Meron kayong mga condominium units, may hotel, may malls din pala, no? So medyo very complicated pala yung requirement ng security and safety. And
kaya Sir Jerry, iba-iba yung principles, approaches yung ina-apply sa security.
Okay. Now, it's 4:41. Yung technical natin dito is asking for a break. Sa pagbabalik po, tatanungin natin si Chairman Attorney Gabaw, kung ano yung nakikita niyang basis, no? Bakit kailangan nating i-promote itong practice of profession in the security industry? Ano yung nakikita niya being the chairman of the Professional Regulatory Board for Criminologists, no? Ano yung nakikita niyang posibleng magiging development in the sector of the security industry now that there is a pending law or bill in the House of Representatives with the intention of strengthening and professionalizing the practice of the criminology profession. Sa pagbabalik po, we will ask and we will be discussing this matter pertaining to the bill that is filed today. Several bills actually, no, filed today in the House of Representatives. Break muna tayo for our commercial. Stand by, mga kaibigan.